People say the UK car scene's dead, so we decided to host our own Cars and Coffee to find out if that's really true. Right guys, it's 29th of March here. We're at Anglo-American Oil Company HQ. This is my business and also where we build the drift cars. Now, this car season, it's been pretty dead over the last 4 months, being Christmas and winter. The weather's been awful, but it's pretty good today. And we decided to host our own Cars and Coffee event. We did one last year and the turnout was pretty good. We were still building the Volvo. But this time we decided to try and go a little bit bigger. We're raising some money for charity. And I definitely think I have oversold this. So we have about 40 spaces in the site here. We'll show you around later. But I reckon we've sold, well, 250 pre-sold. We might be 300 people here. So I'm slightly worried we're going to get shot down by the police for blocking the roads and stuff. But I think that's just part of it. It's for charity, right? So what can they say? We have got really cool cars here. For example, this here, we've got a Granada with a 1JZ. But most importantly, there isn't that many cool Volvo car shows. We decided to make our own. We don't really have any shows in this area that are specific for like drift cars, JDM cars, and really a bit of everything. You either have like supercar shows, American car shows, JDM car shows, like Ford shows.
The mud flap's got the tyre riser, you've got it inside the dish.
Everything's separate, so one of the things I wanted to do is really bring everything together as one. Obviously we invited people to like basically just advertise this on Instagram, so we've even managed to get quite a lot of cool Volvos down here. I've even got things like, like the A86 here, SL20 engine. A few of my friends have just come straight from drifting at Castle Combe yesterday. And later in this video we're going to do some car reviews or check out some of the drivers and show you some of the variety. Right, so we're here with Nico from Aero Elite with his fresh build S15. This has been in the work for like 7 years, right? Roughly?
I've owned the car 12 and has literally turned the key, well, done the first drift event yesterday in 7 years.
Yeah, I think last time I saw it was when we drifted together at Rockingham, which was like one of the last Rockingham days.
Yeah, and we had a little shunt, didn't we?
We did. Yeah. Was that 7 years ago?
7 years.
That's crazy. But this has done the typical like escalation of a drift car where you had like, what was wrong with the engine go? Or?
It was clutch.
The clutch.
Clutch went, then box came out and I was like, might as well do an upgrade, and then the upgrade led to an upgrade, and then it was like, right, 1J's not going to cut it, now it's 2J, and now it's Quafe.
Yeah, let's have a look under it. So this guy went to change a clutch and he's probably spent 50 grand at least on the rest. And now this is an absolute insane drift car that's built like a show car.
I used to drive this to uni as a daily mind.
And what's it pushing, like 900 horsepower?
950 crank,
950 crank,
yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and I saw some videos from Castle Combe and it was shredding tyres.
Yeah, it's serious, it's fast.
How long were they lasting?
Well, lap and a half but not drifting. So you do 2 quarries, 1 pitch straight, and then that's it. Yeah. That's
sick. That's sick. Is built motor?
Yeah, fully built, yeah. Ryan RVR built the engine.
Yeah.
Dave Yandel did machine work, so it's great, really great.
And what ECU and stuff has it got?
Civix ECU and then ECU Master PDMs throughout.
It's
great.
So she's got all the nice parts on it.
Yeah, it's got good stuff on it.
Yeah, perfect. Built to last now, so.
Hopefully,
Yeah, and now he's come fresh from Castle Combe, it's dirty. We're going to show him how to get it clean with some Sonax. So one of the cool things we decided to do here today is put on an actual car wash, so people can come, try the Sonax product, use the stuff themselves. I think Johnny here thought we were going to wash his car for him, but he's a bit disappointed when he has to do it himself. So one of the cool things about this is people can try out all the new Sonax products. We've got everything to hand here, so people can just grab it, go. There's loads of detailing products, and a lot of people would not know what to do or haven't used the full range yet. So we've got the wheel cleaners, especially got the snow foams, shampoos, all the basic stuff. We've got the detailers to finish off once you've dried the car as well, so people can try. Another really cool addition we got here to the Volvo show area. This is absolutely sick touring car, liveried 850. Tell us a little bit about it. How long have you had this for?
It's about 3 years, I think. It's as close as I can get to the real thing.
Yeah.
It's more of a show car really than a performance car in that sense. But no, it looks good. I'm a graphic designer, so I've done all the graphics and stuff, and I keep changing things, trying to get it as close as possible.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. Yeah. It's like one of the ideas I've got for the drift car is kind of touring car inspired livery, a bit like this, with maybe a bit of a twist on it. So yeah, look at this, looks so good. Right, so last time we did this, at the same time last year, the Volvo was still like a full project. We just put the engine in, had the turbo manifold built, but we had so much to do before Goodwood. So this year, we thought it'd be really cool to do it kind of similar time again. So all the fans, all the people, friends can come and actually check out the workshop. We don't normally open this to the public. They can get right up close to the Volvo and see the transformation that we made last year. So it's a lot more relaxed this year because we're not stressing building a full new car, but we are going to go to Goodwood again, so that's really exciting. Right, so we found something that's really cool. It's a Ford, but it's got a bit of a JDM twist to it. Mark, show us what you got under the hood.
So under the hood I've got a 3-litre 2JZ with a single turbo. It's mated to a 6-speed BMW gearbox from a 530D.
Nice.
And it's pushing, at the moment, 385 brake horsepower.
Nice, yes, that's plenty in a chassis like this.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely cool. Yeah, and it's a proper sleeper. Like you wouldn't, from the outside, when the bonnet's down, there's nothing that gives it away.
You wouldn't know that it's got that underneath there unless obviously I'm giving it some and so you can hear the turbo noises.
Yeah, that's really sick. And now people are starting to leave the show now, doing the standard head car guy move. Burnout's leaving, so old Bill was up the road a minute ago, so let's see if anyone gets arrested. Part of the Volvo crew, Andy's 940. You might recognise Andy from the Boca videos.
Yeah, that's it.
Things are cool stuff, and yeah, this thing's sick. I've known about this before I got into the Volvo.
Yeah, you asked me a few questions when you were doing it.
Definitely lead me to buy my saloon. But yeah, tell me a bit about this and yeah, what you got under the hood.
So yeah, I bought this 5-6 years ago, someone's back garden, 750 quid. And then it was a 2-litre NA, and I drove that, drifted it for years. And then I went 2.3 turbo, kept it like that. And then did bigger turbo, bigger injectors, standalone, and just kind of developed. And now it's just like a turnkey 250 horsepower car that I just drive all the time.
Yeah, do you take as many car shows?
Yeah, do a bit of car shows and stuff, like try and do a lot of track days. We do the ring every year. Just did NT500 in it with a roof tent, the missus, the dog.
Yeah, I saw those pictures.
Unreal.
Yeah,
but it's like it's just a good kind of reliable
just
car.
a fun, and like they're so unique now, aren't they? Like,
so good.
You never see them.
It's
That's
like,
what I found. Like even driving like my old one or the limo, like everyone's just like
and everyone
loves
it.
Loves it
because everyone's grandfather had one, didn't they? But
exactly.
It's
a good
vibe.
vibe.
It's a good car. It's like it's been very beat up, crashed a lot, and it's just a good vehicle. There's just chopped and changed.
Any other plans for it?
Just drive it really.
Drive it.
Like I've got to a point, last year I did loads, so I did like all the standalone turbo, all that. So I'm like, now this year I'm just going to purely enjoy it.
Nice.
But it's a good vehicle.
Wicked. Right, next up we found this really cool Polo from my friend Tom. How long you had this? Tell us a little bit about it.
So I bought it in 2017. And started off as just a bit of a runaround. Never planned to keep it, but as these things do, they escalate.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of escalation today.
Custom one-off body kit. Side skirts, 3-piece split rims, 1.4 16 valve with CBR 600 bike carbs.
Sick. And car show wise, you go to a lot. What's your favourite in the kind of shows you go to?
Probably Great International in Belgium is my favourite.
So no UK shows?
I mean, I love all the UK shows, but my favourite show that I've been to is definitely Belgium.
Do you think that's because it's more of excitement going abroad and it feels like a holiday?
I think so. I think it's a combination of obviously having a bit of a road trip, which is cool with mates, but also seeing lots of cars that you have not seen before. Obviously the UK, there's obviously new cars coming in every year, but you see a lot of the same stuff. Whereas when you go further afield, it's and I love a road trip.
Yeah, that's it. Every time you hear something coming, you're like, please don't crash. There's a blame
not out
on
the
me.
front.
Yeah, not at the front. At least get down the road. Cool, so one of the cars that I really wanted to come by and check out was this Mark 1 Caddy. This was one of my favourite cars when I was like 17, 18, and I actually owned one in Sweden, which turned out to be an absolute bag of shit, but it looked absolutely cool when I was at school over there for a year. And you've come all the way from Isle of Wight, right?
Yeah, well this has come from California. So over there they call them, mainly call them the rabbit pickup.
Yeah.
They don't really, well some people call them a Caddy over there, but it's mainly from the Volkswagen Rabbit.
Yeah, because I know people had these lights, like the rabbit lights. I wasn't sure if you'd done a conversion. So
no,
you actually imported it all the way from
someone else imported it. I get the impression they didn't really know what they had. And I had a UK Caddy at the time, and I really wanted this one. I really wanted this colour, this year, and they were willing to just do a straight swap. I was like, yes. It was originally a 3-speed auto with a 1.6 K-Jet engine, and my friend offered to put a PD 130 in it, and I was like,
what a good engine.
Yeah, go for it.
Nice.
Go for it. So now,
so it's probably use it a lot.
Every day.
Every day.
Yeah,
well,
I use
that
it for
engine,
work.
it's perfect.
Yeah.
What do you do for work?
I'm a carpenter at the moment.
Carpenter. Yeah. You turn up in this?
Yeah, I do. It normally has a Truckman topper on the back.
Oh yeah.
But I took it off.
Yeah, they look a lot better without it.
It looks so much better without it, and that's why the back end is raised slightly, because the topper sort of weighs it down.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool though. They are super sick.
Just put on these wheels. These are my favourite wheels of all time.
What they call the pepper pots? Is that the ones? Yeah, I remember from back in the days.
Absolutely love it. But they're 13-inch, which makes the sump sit so low to the ground.
That's what I remember. To run them to get like a really nice fitment, like you need them on air ride, or you just risk like the sump every time. And probably with the conversion you've done, the sump's probably even lower, maybe.
Yeah, it's got a shallow sump, but it's from a new Beetle. A lot of people do that. They get the new Beetle sump and they put it on there, because the original one of the PD is aluminium for a start, and it's slightly taller.
And what's the car scene like in Isle of Wight?
I don't know. You see the odd classic go past. You see a Mark II, a Mark III, and it's like, but it's mainly T4s, T25s, mainly.
Did you come over to the UK a lot? Well, you are the UK, but like the mainland?
I try to. It's so expensive to get across on the ferry, but I try to. I do a lot of other Caddy events up in, wherever in the UK, up north and stuff.
Is there still a bit, because I remember, because I was well into them back in the day, and then when I didn't have any money, and I was like, I can probably afford to build a nice one now. Now they're like so hard to find.
Yeah, well, I host an event.
All the loud cars going now.
I host a camping event every year. Sometimes do twice a year, but we're called Caddy Campers.
Oh, cool.
And I try and get as many Mark I Caddies in one place.
Yeah.
The most we've had is about 16, 17-ish.
Cool.
And
have you ever had one of the ones with the actual camper conversion on the top?
Oh, yeah. So a friend of mine, Julian's got the Caddy Sport with the Tisha.
He has
the
full official one.
Absolutely, yeah. He's an absolute legend. And they're so... Each time we do the Caddy Campers, there's like so many different ones there, so many different colours, so many people have done different engine swaps, and it's great to see what other people have done with them.
Yeah, it's a really cool little community by the sound of it.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And that's what happens when they were back in the day, when they were so cheap, like people would get them and they'd change hands so often, and now they're like a collector's item, so you get a lot of really good enthusiasts.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The little communities going.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right, we've got Ethan here with his Evo. Funny story, I actually met him in a traffic jam this week, invited him to Cars Coffee. This is one of my favourite cars when I was younger. I've kind of put it on the back of my mind that I don't need one, but I really want one. What's it like to drive?
It's absolutely unforgettable. It's the best car I could ever think to drive as a daily.
Yeah.
The only thing that is impractical about it is the fuel.
Yeah.
But apart from that, it's got the space, it's got the looks and the sound, and it's got everything that you need.
What did you have before?
Before this, I had a Toyota MR2 in Cosmos Blue. I was second owner. The first owner was a founder member of the MR2 Drivers Club.
Sick.
And I fell in love with that, but this was always at the forefront of my vision, so I wanted to get
What kind of power? Is it stock power or?
Well, it's got HKS intercooler, HKS blower valve intake. It's got track formula, COP single ignition kit, and it's tuned for downhill racing. It's got a shortened steering rack.
Nice.
It's pushing around 390.
Yeah, that's nice.
So it's a nice daily power.
Did you take it on track days as well?
Yes, I recently went round Nürburgring last year in August, and that was my first track day.
Really? Nürburgring?
And decided to take it onto
Nürburgring, cool. Did you play on the PlayStation before to get your head in there? So you just went in there blind?
Yeah, I went in there blind.
Brave man. Sick. Oh no, that's so cool. And the white as well. That's one of the best colours for it, for sure.
Oh, it's absolutely amazing. Some of the cars here, which I've seen like at Coombe, the absolute level of cars are like phenomenal. And,
yeah, the turnout was great. Like I think I saw like 250 tickets, and I had no idea who was bringing a car or not. We had a few people we knew were coming, but the turnout was great. It's some really high quality cars. Probably people getting them out at the first time of the year, because it's only end of March. So yeah, I think we need to probably try to do one in the summer. We said that last year, they got totally busy, but yeah, it's definitely sick. It's really cool to get so many different kind of cars together. Normally it's like you go to a show and it's all like one or the other. It's like either JDM or the Ford cars. Here we had a really good mix, and everyone was on really good spirit. Had a really good day so far.
And loads of variety. You got like American, Japanese, German.
Yeah, it was sick.
Anything you can name of is here.
Yeah, even like people bring cars on trailers, which is really cool. Yeah. So yeah, big effort. Thank you to everyone who came. So if you follow drifting in the UK, you definitely know Dave Bastin. Thank you for coming, bringing the old trusty 86. You were at Coombe yesterday.
We were at Coombe yesterday.
How did that go?
Good. All the body panels are still intact. That was from Coombe a little while ago, to be fair. But this is ducting now.
No, ducting is a performance crash mod.
Performance crash, always a performance crash.
And that was the first time out?
That was the first time out this year. We had a few turbo problems and stuff towards the end of last year. Seems to be dialed in now, so fingers crossed we get another.
What were you doing with your sump? Were you having to weld
there was a crack in the sump. So I hadn't touched the car from last year. I got the car into the workshop and then realised, there's a bit of oil there, and there was a hole in the sump. So
nice. Well, at least you found it. Because Dave has been known to drive onto circuits and forget his drain plug.
I know. Do you know what I found in the sump this time? So I took the sump off and found a cable tie in the sump.
A cable tie?
I don't know how it got there. In all honesty, I don't know how it got. And it was the big end as well. There was like half a cable tie. And I was like, huh? Okay. I think it must. I don't know.
Maybe I was used to hold
something. I don't even know how that's possible. No. But yeah, there was definitely a cable tie in the sump. Yeah. there was a cable tie. It was holding something together.
Yeah, Dave Yandel. What do you use the cable ties for? We'll never know.
We'll find out. Yeah.
Dave, what are you doing this year then?
So this year, what have we got? We've got Jap Fest next, which I believe you're.
Yeah, we're going to go Jap Fest.
Yeah.
We're not sure which car yet, but one of them.
So Jap Fest, then Offset Show, which is a really, really good show down in Cornwall. So obviously Axel, Son Axel sponsoring that again. So that's one of my favourite shows, to be honest with you. And then Initiate, and then it'll just all roll into one. We've got so many shows going on, all the action days as usual. Back to Silverstone for a few, Goodwood Festival of Speed. I'll be coming along.
Just come to Gatville.
Yeah, yes. You come to go. I keep telling you.
Yes, I know.
Dave would be the element.
Yeah, you need to go.
It'd be dangerous. I think it'd be dangerous. Me and you on track out there would just be like.
Yeah. If you think Dave should come to Gatville or Gatabil in Swedish, write in the comments.
Write in the comments.
But brilliant. We'll write on his Instagram. Just keep spamming him. Tell him to come.
And then I won't know, but just bully me into going.
Just keep sending him emails, fake emails. Really keep calling him in the middle of the night.
Cool. No, it's going to happen now.
No, sick. Oh, thank you, Dave.
But yeah, another sick event here. Hopefully, are you going to run any more?
I think maybe do one in the summer. It's quite good. It's quite stressful. It's quite stressful holding your own cars and coffee.
We need a summer.
We need a barbecue and a DJ, I think.
Barbecue, DJ, summer event.
Yeah, that'd be sick. Yeah, and it's been pretty good. The police didn't turn up in the end. They were up the road. There was, as always, at every car show, some bell end doing a burnout as you leave. But
now me and Axel are going to rip a burnout.
Now everyone's gone. Now we can do the burnouts.
To me.
But it's been a really good day. And we said is car scene dead? No, it's definitely not. I think when you do little pop-up events, you get together a really good crowd of unique, like local cars. Some people travel. We had people who come just like fans of the drifting who'd come see us on YouTube. So that was really cool. Just a great day. A lot of my good friends as well. So we're gonna probably pack up now and
go rip some burnouts.
Go rip some burnouts on the roads. No, not really.